Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will see how we can use Kubernetes online for practice purpose. So no need to set up the Kubernetes clusters locally, like might be we are using Minikube or using a KOps, like we are deploying our clusters in our production environment. But for practice purpose, we can use the online Kubernetes resources which is free of cost. So search play with Kubernetes and we get a lot of links, but yeah, I am using labs.playwithk8s.com. Click on this and then we land to this page. Click on login. There are two authentications, GitHub and Docker. Let me do with Docker. Okay, it has some authentication issues, and let me try the GitHub one. Okay, so we are in. Click on start and it starts the 4-hour session. Click on add new instance. We can use this instance as a control plane or a master node. It gives few of the commands here. I just copy the command. You have to click control insert for copying and shift insert to paste. Run this command. It will be setting Kubernetes clusters on this master node. We'll give few seconds for it to run. Yeah, it's executing. This will be easier for whoever want to practice initially for a hands-on. Okay, it has been executed. So we can find here there is a join. Yeah, this command kubeadm join. So this is used for adding the worker node to the cluster. So let me copy that. For copying, control insert, and then I will launch node 2, which will be a worker node. This is node 2 and I will be executing kubeadm join command. Shift insert, enter. So this node been added to the control plane. So go back to the master node or a control plane and then go for the second command which will initialize the cluster. So this is the command kubectl apply -f insert and shift insert to paste. Run it. So it has created few other resources which is required for Kubernetes cluster. Okay, as node 2 is already joined to the cluster, let's give the command to check whether pods or deployments or services are running or not. So to check pods are running or not, execute a command kubectl get pods. Okay, there is no pods. Kubectl get deployments. There are no deployments. Then we will see kubectl get svc services. So by default, when we create a clusters, so cluster IP services will be created. So now we will create a deployment nginx with the name nginx kubectl create deployment. We'll give a name as nginx and image name is also nginx. Let's run this command. Okay, the deployment is created. So let's see again whether the pods and deployments are created by executing the commands kubectl get pods. We can see one pod is running, and the name of the pod will be like random nginx followed by some random numbers. Kubectl get deployments. We can see our deployment nginx is available. Let's see if any services are created. Kubectl get svc. There are no services, the only the default cluster IP services is there. So let's expose our deployment to port 80 and we will create service as node port. Here the default service is cluster IP. So we will create one more service of type node port and we will expose that to port 80, and the deployment name we have already created a deployment name as nginx, so we will use the same deployment and we will expose that service as a node port. Let's run the command kubectl expose deployment. What is the deployment name? Our deployment name is nginx, and what type of services we required? It is type node port. So node port, and on which port we want to expose it? Port 80. Let's run. Sorry, what is happened? Okay, there is a typo. Yeah, I'm just kubectl. This one I have missed it. Okay, services has been created. Let's run kubectl get svc. So we can see one more services with the name node port, and we can see the port here 80 port and 32714. This is the port where it got exposed. So to check, we have to see whether the web services is up or not. So we can use this IP cluster IP of the master node and give curl command followed by the IP and then the port 32712. Perfect. The nginx is up and running and we are able to see the output. Thank you, friends.